Welcome to all the students in the second lecture taken from the unit 5th. The topic of presentation is project analysis and the subject is industrial management, for which the subject code is RAS 601. Subject is meant for BTech 6th semester students from all the branches. The topic of presentation which I am taking into consideration are project plans, the estimation of time regarding the project, the project planning cycle, scheduling of project for the simple project with the dependent stages, that is Gantt chart, and scheduling a complex project by using CPM and PERT analysis. To start with the project plan, it basically concentrate on two main areas, that is project planning as well as estimation of time. Another one is scheduling the techniques like Gantt chart, CPM, PERT, etc. In this presentation, we'll see first about the estimation of time, and later on we'll talk about project planning cycle. To with the time estimation, to estimate the time in a project is a very important step, because it is the question of reliability of the product. If the time is not properly estimated, then the delivery of the project will also affect, and the reliability of the product will also affect with the time. They often determine the pricing of the contract and hence the profitability also, because as the time lag takes place, with that the cost will also increase and overall optimization of project will not takes place. In the first stage in estimating the time accurately, first one should fully understand what is the purpose of the project and what they want to achieve through the completion of project. It is an inevitable condition. If one is not understanding the importance of project, then tricky problems may cause the delay in the project, and they take the great time to solve the total time tenure of the project. Another point in this regard is to review the job is to list the task in full detail. Unless and until the activities will not be specified, then the time taken in activities cannot be estimated, as well as the total time for the project will also cannot calculate. Further, there are various types of obstacles that may arise during the timely delivery of the project. They may be, some of them are mentioned at here, like the accidents and emergencies, internal meetings, holiday and sickness of the essential staff, contract with other customers, perhaps to arrange the next job, breakdown in equipments, missed deliveries by the suppliers, like a supplier is not able to provide the material, whether due to any problem like transportation, non-availability of the transportation, and any kind of interruption. Also the rejection that comes through the quality control cell. These are the possible reasons that may arise obstacle in the timely delivery of the product. We will discuss about the planning cycle. Planning cycle, as the name suggests itself, it's a cyclic process to plan the activities within the project. It starts from the analysis of opportunities and move towards with identifying the aim, exploring options, selecting and detailing the best option, and the planning, evaluation of the plan, and implementing changes if any. To start with analyzing the opportunity, as the name suggests itself, it's the analysis meant for finding out the strength, weaknesses, opportunities and threat of the organization. Each and every organization must know about their strength, weaknesses, opportunities that are that comes from the external environment, and threats to which on which the organization have to work on. Risk analysis, as I told you earlier, that is the analysis which provides the capability about the capability of the organization, that how much risk a company can bear in terms of financial, in terms of outsourcing the technology or to build the technology, and also the pressure from external and internal environment itself. We'll talk about once the opportunities are identified by the company, then they have to plan and they have to plan their aim to decide precisely what the aim of the organization is, what they want to be in future, what benefit do they want to give to their customers, what returns they are looking for from the market in return to selling of their project, what kind of standards they want to set for the future generations by their project, and what values do they establish by their organizations. Of course, all these questions can be answered by setting the proper mission as well as vision statements. Vision statement express the benefit that an organization will provide to its customer, whereas mission statement give the concrete expression of the vision statement, explaining how they will achieve it in future. Once the vision and mission statements are cleared with the mind of concern, then they have to explore the options accordingly. Like once they clear about their vision and mission, they know about what the organization are, what they can do, and how they have to do. For that, there are various creative tools, or creativity helps a lot in order to explore the options. There may be various techniques like brainstorming, ideation, customer feedback, through which one can know about what kind of product or services they want to render in the market. And obviously, to study the demand is essentially required, that unless and until marketer will not study the demand that arises in the market, they cannot provide the customer preferred product. Option out of the possible product as well as service that can rendered by the company, detailed planning comes. The need of detailed planning arises. Detailed planning, what the detailed planning is? The detailed planning is the process of working out the most effective and efficient way of achieving the aim that have defined earlier. It is the process of determining what we have to do, who will do, when to do, where to do, how to do, and at what cost the project has to be delivered, the product is to be delivered to the customer. When all these questions are answered through detailed project report, when drawing up the project plan, techniques that are used that can be used are as Gantt chart, CPM analysis, and PERT analysis. Gantt chart basically provides an idea about how much time is to be taken by which activity, and so it is a scheduling technique which helps to draw or provide a sort of timetable to the executives, and which clearly depicts about what are the activities, and out of which parallel as well as sequential activities, and the execution of the same within the specified time. Next is CPM as well as PERT. These two techniques are also helpful to provide the time estimation as well as scheduling the task or activities. Basically, CPM is the deterministic type of technique in which the time estimate are of deterministic nature, whereas PERT is the probabilistic time study, or we can say scheduling technique, in which we just take optimistic, pessimistic, and most likely time, and by taking with the help of formula, by taking the proper time estimation, we'll use the scheduling schedule for the project and activities. These techniques one by one. First is cost benefit analysis. As the name suggests itself, it involves adding up all the cost involved within the project and activities that are carried and comparing them with the expected benefits arises through the completion of the project. This helps the organization to arrange the finance as a resources as well as its utilization during the execution stage. Second analysis, that is force field analysis, is used to provide an overview of all the forces, all the external as well as internal forces that are acting for and against the plan. This allows the organization to see that organization can make the adjustments and make the plan more likely to success. Rather than theoretical, if the plan will be practical, then all the forces arises from the external stimuli, then the project will more practical, and obviously the risk related to project will decrease. Next is plus minus interesting technique. This technique involves to list out the plus point of the plan in one column, minus points of the plan in second column, and their implications and points of uncertainties related to the plan in the third column. By doing so, the organization can get their strength as well as weaknesses, the areas where the organization have to work on. As well as one more interesting thing of this exercise is to find out the implications of the point of uncertainty with the plan. This helps the organization to allocate the positive as well as negative score, and by comparing those scores, with the help of these scores, an organization can work for the betterment in future. Next is cash flow forecast. Cash flow forecast, as the name suggests itself, to forecast or to make the estimation related to flow of cash, from where the cash inflow arises and from where the cash outflow and how much cash outflow takes place to which activity. It also helps in assessing the size of the greatest negative as well as positive activities, and through this forecasting one can ensure about the reallocation of fund if required. Next and important technique is six thinking hat. This is the technique which gets a rounded view of the plan and its implications. Six heads are nothing but the name of you can say the context, like rational, emotional, optimistic, pessimistic, creativeness. Each and every head is provided its name. Once the project, it is on the project manager itself who see the project as if he see the project rationally, then he think and take the decisions accordingly. If he see the project through the emotional specs or emotional head, he will take different kind of decisions, and so on. Next is, once the analysis and evaluation takes place, the changes, it's a time to change the implementation. It's a time to implement the changes within the project. And while doing so, one should take into consideration that it is the sequential process, it's a parallel process, that while implementing the change on the plan, then parallelly monitoring mechanism should be there. Unless and until proper monitoring or controlling will not be there, then a project manager cannot ensure that the changes he or she implemented on the shop floor are effective or not. And the last stage of the planning cycle is to close the plan. Since project is a time bound and time specified activity, then we have to formally close the project by preparing the review report. Once the plan is achieved, one can close the plan, and during the plan, number of lessons that are learned are helpful to improve not only the skill of the executives, but they are also help for the next project. Moving towards the next topic, after estimating the time as well as planning, one has to schedule the project. Scheduling is the technique that is associated with to schedule the routine, not only to schedule the route of the activity, but also the time taken in order to complete each and every activity. It also provides an estimation that what are the activities that are performed parallelly, sequentially, as well as what are the activities for which the minimum time takes place as well as maximum time takes place. On the basis of that, we can find out the reasons because of which the project crashing takes place, and we can avoid the same. If the project is simple one, then simple scheduling techniques are used in which only one or few members are enough to calculate the time taken on the basis of their own experience. A few tasks are dependent on the other task, and so one has to see the dependency of the task on the previous one as well as the successive one. Another point related to the managing the scheduling of simple project is, if it is simple enough, then it is easy to coordinate, and within the minimum number of resource, one can easily handle the project in the proper way. For example, if you are coordinating the delivery of resources for a workshop session, then we have to arrange the resources like a projector, a monitor, a screen, as well as the proper communication mode through which the message or video can be broadcast. Another example that can be taken to implement a small marketing plan through which feedback or the demand assessment can take place. This is the project for which if the virtual platform is used, then a software is used, and if it is physical or physical one, then some of the marketing personals are required in order to get the demand from the customer end. Another example may be taken to deliver a simple software enhancement. Say if a company want to enhance the existing software or to change in the existing variant, then they have to study first about the requirement from the customer side and the changes that they want in the existing one. As the company realize the need of the consumers, then it will be easy for them to make the essential change. Next comes if the project is not simple, instead of simple project, if it is uh, used with the dependent stages that are more, then in that condition, for a project manager, it is important to determine the resources that are needed, and the layout, the possible layout, the change in the layout that they can make in order to visualize the project in a better way. Gantt chart helps a lot in order to check the monitoring in this regard. Now the question arises what the Gantt chart is. Gantt chart are useful tool which are used to analyzing the and plan the complex project. This chart is used to plan out the tasks that are needed to be completed on the basis of scheduling technique and to plan the allocation of resources. This chart provides a critical path also, like through this chart one can see the activities that are going on parallelly, what are the activities that are sequential one and dependent on predecessor and successor activities, and further this chart are useful in managing the dependencies between the tasks. Here in this figure you can see the proforma is given for the Gantt chart, in which you can say number of activities like A, B, C, D and E are shown to you, and with respect to these activities, days are mentioned. Say a project is of 2 weeks long, then activity A is performed at first 4 days, then activity B is a sequential one and not the parallel which is carried out after the 4th day. Then you can see the activity B is to be carried out on the 5th day. At the same time it has to be carried out parallelly from the 8th to 14th day of the project. So here you can see the activity A has to replan. Next is activity C, which is a parallel activity and parallelly executed with the activity B on the 9th as well as 10th day of the project. Similarly, activity D that has to be performed on 10th, 11th and 12th day of the project and followed with the activity E. Here now I am going to elaborate the steps how to draw the Gantt chart. First we have to list all the activities that are carried out as per the plan. Then we have to head up the graph paper with the days or weeks through which the entire task has to be complete. Next is simply to plot the task onto the graph paper according to the day wise schedule and present it for the analysis. Here an example is to be taken in which 15 number of activities are shown on a particular 10 for 10 week project, and in which you can see number of activities are performed sequential as well as parallel manner. Here number of activities like activity number 3, 4, 7 are executed parallelly, whereas activity 1, 2, 3, 5, 10 these are sequentially performed. So so far as we have seen that by using the Gantt chart one can represent the dependent activities in the project, and next is scheduling the complex project through CPA's critical path analysis as well as PERT, program evaluation and review techniques. These two techniques were developed after the World War II, and these two are the very powerful tool in order to schedule the time taken in the activities as well as if the activity, one of the activity or any of the activity crash takes place, crash means if it is not executed within the specified time and by using the required resources, by using the resources provided by the management, then the resources are either provided again or some extra time is to be provided. All this assessment is provided by CPA as well as PERT, and if it basically will take a look of these two techniques in subsequent slide. Within this slide, we'll take an overview of all the techniques, like for the simple project, the Gantt chart, for the dependent activity project, and for the complex project. And the difference between CPA and PERT is that CPA is the deterministic plan, this deterministic analysis, whereas PERT is based on the probability of occurrence of the event. The occurrence may be optimistic, pessimistic, or most likely. That's all for now within this presentation. Thank you.